Hello and welcome. The mention of the word drones may conjure up images of unmanned aircraft flying high and unseen to observe and maybe even launch missiles on unfortunates below. Maybe even conjure up pictures of drones flown by enthusiasts eager for that great picture or video. Would it surprise you to learn that 64 countries have developed drones? For instance, Australia has developed 35, Russia 42, and 270 in the United States. The first modern drone was developed in the United Kingdom in 1935. This was the de Havilland DH-82B Queen Bee, a low-cost radio-controlled drone developed for aerial target practice. I reckon that if you were flying a target aircraft that others were firing at, you'd wish not to be there either. The need for a jet-powered target aircraft became evident soon after the Second World War, when air forces throughout the world, Australia included, began re-equipping with turbine-powered aircraft. Pilotless aircraft were generally safer and cheaper to operate than conventional towed targets, the removal of the pilot also allowing for increased performance and payload. Here in Australia we had the Jindivik. The name is an Aboriginal Australian word meaning the hunted one. A good description. The Jindivik was a locally designed, mass-produced, unmanned jet aircraft. It was first flown in August 1952, launched from a trolley by a team of ground-based pilots. They maintained effective control of the aircraft at ranges greater than 160 kilometres. It carried a variety of special equipment such as a Lundberg lens that allowed it to simulate the radio echo properties of very large aircraft. Electronic countermeasure equipment could also be fitted. Wing-mounted cameras were used to film approaching missiles and accurately assess miss distances. By fitting a radio altimeter, Jindivik was made to simulate a very low flying aircraft at altitudes as low as 50 feet. Conversely, it could cruise at altitudes as high as 70,000 feet, 2-metre wing extensions being fitted for this kind of operation. Smaller towed targets were often deployed and recovered by pylon-mounted winches under the Jindivik's wings. This technique reduced the risk of damage to the parent aircraft, which could then be repeatedly reused. Landings are the same as for other conventional aircraft, a retractable skid being deployed from beneath the fuselage. A study of the sortie loss rates for Jindivik show that losses from all causes, i.e. malfunction and missile strike, were about 1 in 15, and from malfunction alone, about 1 in 30. Jindivik had been developed as a result of a bilateral agreement between Australia and the UK regarding guided missile testing. Australia gained the contract for developing a large drone at the government aircraft factory. We have open areas such as the Woomera test range that are ideal for testing, as there's not much to bump into. The Jindivik Mark I was initially powered by an Armstrong Siddeley Adder turbojet, which had been developed as a disposable engine for the project. The Mark II was powered by an Armstrong Siddeley Viper engine of short lifespan of about 10 hours. The control systems were manufactured by various firms including Elliott Brothers, GEC and McMichael. Control was maintained through an autopilot that received radio commands from the ground rather than direct flight by a ground controller. The drone was launched by a self-steering trolley. At 110 knots, the drone was designed to apply its flaps, push the elevators up and release the trolley. Landing was made at 125 knots. Maximum speed 908 kilometres an hour, giving a range of about 1,038 kilometres. Since production began, the Jindivik has been used by the Royal Australian Air Force, the Royal Australian Navy's Fleet Air Arm and the Royal Air Force. The last Australian Jindiviks were taken out of service in the late 1990s and were replaced by the Calcara. In the UK, the drone was used in the development of the Bristol Bloodhound, English Electric Thunderbird and Sea Slug surface-to-air missiles and the de Havilland Firestreak air-to-air missile. 70 years on from the Jindivik, there is not much that a drone can't do. I was at the Avalon Air Show in 2017 and was admiring the General Atomics Predator. First thing you notice is how large it is. A wingspan of 17 metres and a takeoff weight of 1,157 kilos. The Americans had a Boeing Globemaster there, but I considered it was too large for even that unless it had been deconstructed and loaded like that. How did the Predator get there from America, I asked. Why, sir, it flew here itself, came back the answer from the US Air Force chap. Thank you for watching. Please comment, like and subscribe to promote content.